All right, hello everybody. It's Ravnica time. So, played pre-release this last weekend. Played some Selesnya, Vital, Abundant, United, Selesnya. Had a great time. Got the sweet die with the symbol on it. See that focus? Mike's focusing back here today. So yeah, so that was cool. Gonna use that in a commander deck, and then got some sweet cards. Gonna get to those in a second. Gonna show you what I played and then what I didn't play. Show you the rares that I got, and we'll have some fun. But first, let's do a pack opening. The place that I go and play does a pack for coming, which is sweet. And then they do a pack per win. So I went 2 and 1 to get 3 booster packs. So we're going to go ahead and open these now. Okay. Wait, there's more. Okay. Let's see. Focus up on these. There we go. Cool. Guild Mage. Pretty good. Turn it. This one should be pretty good. Surveilling was great during the pre-release. I feel like it's going to be pretty good in standard too, so let's hope for the best. And Hatchery Spider. Nice. So this one is 7 mana, 5/7 with reach, undergrowth. When you cast a spell, reveal the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. You may put a green permanent card with converted mana cost X or less from among them onto the battlefield. Pretty sweet. And then Golgari Guildgate and a soldier token. Cool. So that was our rare from the pack, Hatchery Spider. Alright, so of course I had the Guildgate, which I used. I did end up playing Selesnya. I had a lot of playables in my pre-release seeded booster, so I went ahead and used it. Alright, so this is what I ended up playing. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer. I played with 17 lands. It was weird this time. There's this one for you. So this time, I played with 17. First game, almost didn't draw enough lands to make my 3-drops. And was really bummed about that. Here, we'll let this focus. I put an 18th land in, and then I started to get flooded, so I took the 18th land out and ended up still flooding sometimes. I think one of the reasons why I flooded is, as you can see, I only have 1 5-drop and then 1 6-drop. So I had mostly 3 drops. And I think that was part of the problem with my pool, is that I didn't really have that many finishers. Here, we're going to put this back up here. So, like, of course, this guy was a good finisher because it was a 6/4 and could buff something else the turn it comes in. Coming in pretty late, so the undergrowth, I might have some stuff in the graveyard, which is good. And I'll also show you my sideboard real quick. In my sideboard, I had another Pax Favor, a Silent Dart, just in case I need to do some extra damage. Never ended up playing this one, so I'm not sure how good it is. The Locket, I wanted to try to be kind of mid-range, faster than my opponent, unless they were Boros, in which case I was just focusing on stabilizing. So in some of the longer, grindier matchups, I put this in, and that helped, but otherwise I left it out. Urban Utopia, I wasn't doing any 3-color shenanigans. So this is my sideboard. I had another Pax Favor in the sideboard. Silent Dart, I did not end up using it, so I'm not sure how good it is, but 4 damage to do 3 damage to a creature, it's pretty steep price. The Locket was great for grindier matchups but I usually tried to be a little bit more aggressive and win quickly. So this was kind of usually just dead if I wanted to play it. So I kept it in my sideboard. This one I wasn't doing any 3-color shenanigans, so it wasn't really worth it for me. District Guide, great card, but did not need the lands, did not need the fixing. Only 2 colors and was getting flooded, so not needed. Loxodon Restore was great if I ran into Boros. Gave me a little bit of life and a nice blocker. Centaur Peacemaker. Never ended up playing this card. Wasn't sure how good it is since it gives both players 4 life, and I was trying to kind of take them out before they can put anything big down and stabilize. So I didn't end up using that one. Healer's Hawk. This one was great against my last game with Boros. I managed to get it down on turn 1, and then turn 2, Iron Shell Beetle, putting a +1/+1 counter on the Hawk. So now I have a 2/2 flying lifelink. And then I was able to turn 3, Sworn Companions. Turn 4, Venerated Loxodon. So I ended up with a 3/3 flying lifelink. I won the game with like 35 life. There's no way Boros was coming back from that. So that was really sweet. Otherwise, it wasn't great. I mean, that was kind of the best I could hope for. Didn't really have a whole lot of counter synergies otherwise, putting counters on things. So that was just kind of lucky. And then I had another Sworn Companions for if I just need some more boots on the ground. I need some more life link. So there's that. My promo, which looks absolutely gorgeous, was Dawn of Hope. So the foiling is making the camera kind of freak out. But yeah, this is whenever you gain life, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card, and then you can pay 4 to create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. Really cool card. Ended up using that ability in a grindy matchup that I didn't win, unfortunately. But it was great to be able to pump out some more tokens if I needed to. And I have a deck, a life gain deck, that I'm going to try to put that in. So yeah, everything worked pretty well. My mid-range plan worked. Here we'll kind of try to zoom in here. Knight of Autumn. This card is sweet. It performed really well. So you can put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, destroy target artifact or enchantment, or gain 4 life. Here we're going to try something else here. If there were a lot of little dudes that I just needed a blocker and some extra life, check. Was there an annoying artifact or enchantment that I need to get rid of? Check. Do I just need a big body, big efficient, a 4/3 for 3? Check. So, Knight of Autumn, really nice. Of course, Luminous Bonds is effectively removal. So, played that. Pax Favor with Convoke. This is great if you have creatures with Vigilance, because you can attack and then tap those creatures before damage to convoke this. So that's pretty sweet. The Luminous Bonds. Pitiless Gorgon was great. I played against a guy who ran a couple of walls, and this attacked right through the walls. He didn't block with his walls because they would just die to it. So that was a great card. Death Touch is always pretty good. Generous Stray was nice. It gave me a body on the battlefield and allowed me to draw a card, so it replaced itself. And then Rock Charger was also great. This is for 3 mana, 2 and a white. You get a 1/3 flying. Whenever Rock Charger attacks, target attacking creature without flying gains flying until end of turn. So I could fly my best dude over their defense, which was awesome, over their walls. There's Sworn Companions. So that was the bulk of my cards that I played, was in the 3-drop slot. Let's work backwards. Showed you Dawn of Hope. Had Conclave Guildmage. Really nice. The trample definitely came into play for me a couple of times, giving things trample. The Shieldmate here, 2/2 with Vigilance for 2. It's great. I used him to attack and then convoke things, or I think I even used him to convoke something in combat, like that, the Pax Favor. Saw the Iron Shell Beetle from before, and then the Harpooner. So this guy was just a good body for the cost, a 3/2 for 2, with, you know, some upside. If they ended up playing a flying creature, he could block it. If they had a flying creature on the battlefield, I might be able to take it down. So I ended up playing both copies because my 2-drop slot was pretty light. In my 1-drop slot, I had Prey Upon, which was great. Good green removal spell. I had Might of the Masses, which was also great because this oftentimes was an equal or better Pax Favor for only 1 mana. So that was a very efficient use of mana. And then this Flower and Flourish. I never used the flower part of this because it doesn't put it on the battlefield, so it's not ramping. And I more just needed the big boost to get through to the end. I just used the Flourish and I was flooding out anyways. I probably would have been fine running 16 lands. The problem is when I run 16 lands in the past, I'll be fine until like the one game where I just don't ever draw mana. So in my 4 drops, I had Collar the Culprit, again, removal. Destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. This is able to destroy the Dimir Vampire Assassin that can win you the game if you get 3 hit counters and it like shuffles back in your deck. So this was great. Also, I played an opponent where he had a sack outlet that put +1/+1 counters on a creature. And so he sacked his dude to put a +1/+1 counter on it, and then I destroyed it because it went from 3 to 4 toughness. So that was great. Wild Ceratok, I played this a little bit. It was fine. I ended up not using it a whole lot just because by the time that I would play this, a lot of times I'd already won the game. So it was worth just doing a combat trick or a pump spell instead. So it was a pretty aggressive deck. World Soul Colossus was sweet. At times this was the biggest creature on the battlefield, convoking it for 5, so it ended up being a 7 total mana cost, but getting a 5/5 by just tapping all my little 1/1s was nice and was able to do a lot of work, which is great. Then I had 2 of these Wood Shapers. So when Sumala Wood Shaper enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or enchantment card from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So a 2/1 for 4 doesn't sound great, but the ability is great. This found my Luminous Bonds, the enchantment. When I needed it, this would find the next creature that I wanted. Unfortunately, since this is a 4-drop and you're looking for maybe your 5-drop or 6-drop, I only had the 1 5-drop and then the 1 6-drop. So I needed more 5 and 6 drops. Maybe not even like that much, like 2 or 1. But yeah, or some more quality 4 drops. I'm not sure. This card helped a lot because I was able to dig past some of the dead cards in my deck and get some action, but sometimes my action wasn't the best. We now have my 5-drop. I had Venerated Loxodon, awesome creature. Turns all the little 1/1 lifelinker soldiers into 2/2s. And then, of course, the Vigor Spore Worm, which I showed before. So that was my deck. I don't think I left anything out. And I'll go ahead and show you the rares I got from the other packs. So, got Thousand Year Storm, which is a cool mythic. Real hard to pull off in sealed, but hope to maybe put that in a commander deck or something. I got Mission Briefing. This is a great rare. It's probably going to see a lot of play in standard, I imagine. People like playing blue. And then I got Risk Factor, which is a spell, that's for sure. I want to like this card. I think drawing 3 cards is really sweet, but if your opponent's at 20 and you play this, they're just going to take the 4 and 3 mana to deal 4 damage isn't very efficient, so I don't know. It works best, I think, in a deck where you need to kill your opponent quickly and refuel your hand, so they can't afford to take the 4 damage. But then, by allowing you to draw cards, you are able to bolt them or shock them out of the game. The cards that I didn't play in my colors were like this one, the Foragers. It might have been fine. I wasn't too impressed with the Undergrowth ability, but just having a 4/4 body might have been good enough on its own. I also had 10th District Guard. Ability's not that impressive. I was trying to find some more efficient creatures. Candlelight Vigil, I didn't play because I already filled up all my spell slots with things like removal, and of course the worst case scenario is that you get blown out with a 2-for-1 if they have a removal spell for your creature. And then I had 2 Blade Instructors, which is great, but dies really easily. It would be a lot better if I was actually aggressive instead of kind of aggressive mid-ish mid-range. But yeah, so I decided not to play those cards in my colors. The easiest color for me to splash would have been black, as I had at least one Golgari Guildgate, so I'd be able to go into that color. But black wasn't too strong. I mean, I had Plaguecrafter, which is sweet, and then I had this, but that isn't great because I have a lot of 1/1s, so not good. And then Spinal Centipede, again, it's not a bad black card, but I was already pretty full at the 3-drop slot, so I wanted to just stay in my colors if possible. Veiled Shade, same thing, especially when I'm splashing black, and this takes a black, like wouldn't be able to pump it very much. Dowser of Lights was a 1 toughness more than my Loxodon. Not a great finisher. Hired Poisoner, fun, but making sure you get that down with the black, just the 1 black mana. Probably best early on, maybe better later. I guess Death Touch is good anytime, but not enough to pull me into black. Child of Night, like the new artwork, like the flavor text. That's pretty cool, but nothing backbreaking. And then I had Crawl Swarm. This was pretty good. The last guy I played was Demir, and he was able to get this in for a big attack. I blocked with my guy with Reach, and then my opponent got this back. So that was pretty brutal. And then Bats. So really what I was looking for black was removal, and the only thing that came kind of close was Plaguecrafter. So I ended up not playing black or splashing for black because I thought, with my mid-range deck, I wanted to just keep on colors and get people out there as fast as possible. I had more removal in red. I had Gratific Punch, 2 Command the Storm, 2 Cosmotronic Wave, and then I had a Sorcery, Maximize Velocity, I had Maniacal Rage, and then Barging Sergeant. So, I had some removal spells like the White Enchantment, Luminous Bonds, and some green removal like Prey Upon. So I wasn't too worried about getting removal spells, but things like Command the Storm, by the time I get to 5 mana, I would probably have a red source, even with the lack of Guildgate between red and green or red and white. Well, yeah, I did not have a Boros Guildgate, so that would have been a problem for me. This would have been interesting, but I don't think I had the high enough power creatures to justify it. I did get a Demir Guildgate, but didn't have great blue cards. Unexplained Disappearance helps. That's pseudo removal, right? Could have helped. City Watch Sphinx, great card. This would be one I would strongly consider putting in. But After that, we had what? Devious cover up, which is a counter spell. A devious counter up. Okay. Another unexplained disappearance. Chemister's Insight. Passwall Adept. A couple of those. And then Disdainful Stroke. So again, it might have been nice to have one of these guys so my creatures could get through and damage. Everybody loves drawing cards. And this card is good. But, man, it's risky business going 3 colors. And I was going to try to have just a really consistent, fast-ish clock for my game plan. For artifacts, I got a couple of Lockets, Dimir and Golgari. And then multicolored creatures, I got Rhizome Lurcher. So this almost brought me into Golgari, but since I was also running tokens and those don't count for the graveyard, it wasn't great. My opponent, my very last opponent, was playing Dimir and splashed green for this card. And it was really good for him because he was surveilling, putting creature cards he didn't need into the graveyard, discarding creature cards to that 4/1 flyer, and so he ended up with a huge Rhizome Lurcher. Justice Strike, Boros Challenger, Fresh-Faced Recruit, Discovery Dispersal, as I showed in my pack opening, Sky Knight Legionnaire, Hypothesizzle, Sonic Assault, Beam Splitter Mage, Piston Fist Cyclops, 3 Artful Takedowns, which is a great spell. I really thought about trying to be in Dimir or do something because this card is so good, but not going 4 colors, that's for sure. And then Disinformation Campaign, which is also a good, fun card. As you can see from that, I got a lot of Boros stuff. If I had a Boros Guildgate, I might have splashed for some red. Cards like this, actually, my second game was against Boros. It was just as you would expect. Game 1, I was able to withstand the onslaught, stabilize, and win with bigger creatures and life gain. Game 2, he was able to get out a bunch of Mentor creatures early, and then this creature is insane with Mentor because it's, whenever this creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature with lesser power. Well, you can give him +1/+1 until end of turn. So his power is always going to be more than somebody's power because you can just boost him. So it's like infinite Mentor triggers, which was really good. But overall, I didn't have the Guildgate, wasn't comfortable going 3 colors, so I stayed in Selesnya, which still got me a 2-1 record, so I feel pretty good about that. All right, let's go ahead and do our second pack opening. You guys notice that there are these like little slits now in the packs? I don't feel like those were there before. I don't know. Okay. All right. Go through the commons. Omnispell Adept. Cool. Fun, I think fun commander card. Hard to justify 5 mana for a 4/3 in standard, I think. And there's the landed token. All right, and let's do our final one. Here we go. Vraska on the front, Vraska in the pack. Isn't that how it works? All right. Hey, cool. This is nice if you have a commander deck that's 4 or 5 colors. Yeah, you have to pay the 1. That is not great. And it enters tap, so like really slows you down. But it does fix your mana. So pros and cons. Goblin Electromancer, classic. Marine Mystic, Conclave Guildmage, District Guide. Did I give it away? No. Oh yes, I did. Here we go. And our rare is Deafening Clarion. Choose one or both. Deafening Clarion, Deals 3 damage to each creature. Creatures you control gain lifelink into end of turn. So, fun card. Got a foil Gratific Punch, which is cool. There's the Boros Guildgate that I needed. And then Bird Illusion. So no sweet pulls from packs. I couldn't resist, and I went and got a vending machine purchase of modern cards. So 2 random modern cards for 50 cents. We have Shamanic Revelation and Krovax, Ascendant Hero. Card is good for commander creature-based decks. Problem is, his creatures don't last a whole lot in commander. 5 mana is still a lot of mana. And then this guy would be great for a mono-white deck. Unfortunately, a mono-white commander deck. Unfortunately, mono-white in commander, I think, is the worst color you can play. And unfortunately, if you put him in 2 colors, then he is going to give your own creatures -1/-1 because it's not opponents, it's everybody. He does have a way to get him back. I am working on a life gain deck, but it's Mardu life gain commander deck. I don't think I can afford giving all my red and black creatures, or red and black creatures, the -1/-1, or of course if they're 2 colors it'd be -2/-2. However, he's kind of cool. I actually haven't seen this card before, so I hope, he's new to me, and I hope maybe you got to see a new card today. Alright, well that does it for our recap. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, stay vital, stay abundant, stay united. We'll see you next time.